As you're no doubt aware, in just a couple of weeks, Adepticon 2026 will take place at the Baird Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Last year, I took lots and lots of footage and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And when I got down to it and wanted to, work and life and everything kind of got in the way. So it's taken me a while to do something with the footage that I took. So I've put it together as sort of a retrospect. So while we're looking forward to next week's activities, let's look back to last year's show and kind of build ourselves up and get excited for new products to see, new friends, old friends, new games to play, and new experiences to have. Let's take a look. So this first booth that we're seeing is Sea Dog Game Studios. Full disclosure, this is a company that I do a lot of work with, and exactly the reason why I come to Adepticon. These models are for their Tech Commander sci-fi skirmish game. It's obviously combined arms with power armored troopers and mechs, and tanks, drones. A lot of modern and near future concepts are actually reflected in the game, and it is at 10mm scale. And of course, Brian also produces terrain at 6mm scale and 28mm scale, suitable for most science fiction games. And of course, there are the boats and the ships. Every adventure needs boats, so there are 28mm scaled boats there. Oh, look. That's a familiar face if you're on the YouTubes for hobby. And here is Phil. He's called the Glacial Geek, but he's actually a very warm fellow. He's not cold at all. And this is where the Sea Dog Game Studios booth was last year. It was in a really good position, so I think a lot of people would see it and play some demos, but it was sort of hit and miss. So if you see us again, oh, there was Trent, by the way, Trent Holbrook. See us again, stop in, ask for a demo, let us show you our fun toys. And of course, these are the 6mm scale ships for the Sail Power game, a game which allows you to be the captain of your own destiny. And of course, modern boats, both for 28mm scale and more popular historical scales as well. Everything is 3D printed, so Brian can scale things up or down to your liking. And of course, here's some bits for RPGs and modern games, even fantasy games or historicals as well. Here's a little bit closer look at the 6mm scale buildings and train sets and the like. And here is one of my other favorite companies is Mantic. I really like what they did. Ronnie Renton has really got himself something really special there. He learned all those lessons at workshop and took those and set up his own studio. I've got another video where he explains what this game Champions is all about. So be on the lookout for that video coming up. It's not a long video, but I was really interested in the concept of Champions, as it's rank and flank, but it's also got a lot of skirmish action to it. So of course we see the Mantic booth, and they're really pushing Halo. I think they're really proud of having that IP. I don't know how much longer they can go with it, IPs do tend to have a shelf life, but there's so much in the Halo universe and so many things you can do with it, especially because one of my favorite ways of playing was deathmatch. I think you can really get a lot of just player versus player action out of it, and it's familiar to everybody. So of course here is the Battlefront and Gale Force 9 booth, and all their fun terrain. It's almost like they have enough because they're expecting a lot of people to buy it. The gentleman behind the desk, his name is Jeff Smith, and as of the production of this video, I found out today that he's no longer with us. So that's kind of sad, but he's not the only one that's not going to be at Adepticon with us this year. But he actually used to drive tanks, so he went from driving tanks to selling tanks. I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, we're gonna miss him. And there's some small scale buildings. Here's an old friend come back from the dead, so to speak. War Machine Mark IV. And we're going to go around the corner here, and we're going to see if somebody can show us something that's really cool about this particular iteration. Let's listen.
So this is the new War Machine, huh?
Yep, Mark IV.
Very
Yep.
cool.
All in the app. So are you familiar with the old War Machine then?
Yep, sure am.
So the differences now are movement for units and command cards. So there's command cards that are just general command cards that all the armies have access to, and then armies will have specific cards. And these can do things like healing or extra spells and abilities and boosts and things like that. And movement works differently now too with units. So you'll move your normal speed, as in that, and everybody else will then have to end 2 inches away from that first model. So you can advance, or you can still be behind them a little bit. So
A little
yeah.
less mind-breakingly precise.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so much more quicker.
It's got to bring fun back to the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. Just get in there and get playing.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. The way they're managing movement for troops now, I think that's really neat. So here is some showcases, correct English, where they are showing off some of their newer, at least newer as of last year, figures. And then also there are pieces in here, in this case, for their painting competition. So Adepticon has lots of painting competitions. They had the Resin Beast, of course they've got the Golden Demon, there's the Path of the Worthy by Atomic Mass Games, and Monument Hobbies just this year here in 2026 is going to be bringing a miniatures as art showcase. So this year is just kind of a showcase, and I think next year it's going to be a little bit bigger. But that is something that has been sorely lacking at Adepticon, is a miniatures agnostic or a company agnostic painting competition. And of course, here are the competitors. Of course, this is early on Thursday morning, so it wasn't filled up yet. But congratulations to my friend Thomas Grable, by the way, for his placement with his pieces. He did really good job. in the competition. Now, this is a company called Turbo Dork, as you can tell by the banner there. But they make paints that are shiny, metallic, candy apple, glossy, and miniature gamers have always tried to stay away from those sorts of colors, it seems. But what Turbo Dork has is such a wide selection, and there's so much you can do with it. It's amazing. Blew my mind. The first year I looked at their display there, I was surprised at the efficacy which people could use these weird, shiny colors that I tried to avoid through so many years of painting miniatures. And there is the chief cook and bottle washer at Turbo Dork, Greg DiStefano. So it's a pretty snazzy shirt. And this is Tech Commander. Remember how I was telling you earlier it was one of my favorite games and it moves fast. Now it doesn't look like a lot's going on here at the moment, but believe me, there is quite a bit that's going on there. Of course, this is a demo game, so there's a little bit more explanation going on. This is a mode of play called Deathmatch, which is very much like a deathmatch in Halo, where you start out with a certain amount of armor, and as you go through the game, as you progress, you can change your rides up. More on that later. And here's World of Tanks. Tanks for the memories. So a little bit of tank on tank action here. Of course, I've played the video game World of Tanks and I really enjoy it. I haven't played it in a long time though, but this is pretty neat. It's one of those little games that you could probably teach anybody. A few pieces. You don't have to be huge into hobby gaming or the hobby side of gaming to be able to paint a tank effectively. So I think it's a nice introduction, a nice little game that you can play with your friends that are not huge hobby gamers. That's my thoughts anyhow. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. So here's a really neat game. I've always wanted to try this one, but I never have the time. They're always demoing when we're demoing, so it's hard to find time to get over here and play. But this game is by Dave Estenesi, and it's called it's Sans Resultant. So it's French for something about results. Without results. Sans is without, I believe. So it's a 6mm, 10mm scale. It's a weird little scale, but they make their own miniatures. And of course, there's a look at the book. Beautiful book. But you can see the scale of the game is what makes it really beautiful. Models that you can see, the layout is incredible, and you have little dashboards that you can keep track of what your unit or your army is doing. So I believe it based on a lot of command. And here's a familiar sight to many convention goers, many Adepticon fanatics here, the Toledo Game Company, aka the Bits Guy. I've spent a few dollars there, I must say. It's always a neat place to find the rare, the unwanted, the unloved, the pre-loved. If you have ever watched eBay Mini Rescues, This is a place where you can do your own eBay mini rescues without the eBay part. Take a handful of figures home and strip them of their paint jobs, badly painted paint jobs, and produce beautiful little works of art. So you can find just about everything there. Everything from workshop to warlords to Battletech to everything. And this is a pretty neat little place. One of my favorite products from Elric's Hobbies here are these little bags of debris and bits and pieces and things that didn't get molded quite right that they can use, that you can use for decorating your bases. So lots of really neat things there. This game is called Blackout, and I've heard that it is something. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I've seen a lot of people post about it. I've never seen it played. I've never tried it myself, but it's obviously near future with mechs and troopers. So again, modern game design is leaning heavily towards the skirmish games because people don't have a lot of time these days. They're not invested in doing hundreds of hours of hobby for large armies, but a dozen troopers and maybe a large figure to back them up. That's pretty well manageable in today's fast-paced society, I believe. It seems that way to me, which is one of the things going back to Tech Commander and Sail Power. Tech Commander, very few units needed. Sail Power, you only need one ship per player. So, and then Battle Foam needs no introduction. I did buy one of the Tabletop Minions red bags. I use it for hauling little skirmish groups back and forth to Space Station Zero. I've been playing Space Station Zero with some gentlemen from my game club, and we're looking to finish that out here before too long. We're going right through the book, following the adventure storyline, and of course Battle Foam has custom cut foam. So here's Sail Power, and as you can see, everybody gets one ship as a captain. They make all the decisions as far as where they go. The crew is smart. You don't have to micromanage the crew other than putting them where they need to go, but you decide which direction the ship is going to go, and you decide how many people are going to go ashore. There are so many things to go into. There's going to be another video about that, so stay tuned. Keep an eye on the channel. Catalyst Game Labs. What can we say about them? Well, they bought Ralpartha, well, not Ralpartha, but Iron Wind Metals here not too long ago, I believe last year. And that's interesting. We'll see what happens there. Here's some displays, little diorama. It's probably bad form to explain what we're looking at as we're going along. You have eyes, you can see, but my thoughts on Catalyst is they are keeping an old favorite alive. This is called Partha Wars, has nothing to do with Ralpartha, but this is actually based on the books of Tommy Rice. So Tommy Rice is a big gamer. He used to play professional football, but he's a gamer now, and he works with a couple of companies. I think he's got his fingers in a lot of pies. But the Partha Wars is based on his books, and he helped develop that game. And that needs no introduction. Battletech is always a fun game, but it's a little bit dated in its design. That's the only thing I could say, and I don't mean that to be critical. Something about having power and a cat, green cat, I don't know, something. I mean, I think the guy needs a haircut. That page boy is just so out of style. Here's a little display, painted figures. I was having a lot of trouble with glare here, and I know all the tricks. You can put them down in the comments below. Obviously, you're gonna all tell me you need to film at an angle. Yes, I know. As you can see, I was trying to film at an angle, but I just couldn't get a good enough angle where I was not picking up a lot of reflections there. And you'll see in the back there, StarCraft, well, that's released now. It's up for pre-orders as of this production date. But there's all of the Masters of the Universe figures. And there was a really good deal at the show. I don't know if they'll have that same deal this year. I kind of hope so. Am I going to pick it up? I don't know. I'd like to, but then I think, I've got so much in my backlog already. But that is a beautiful looking game. And you'll never see that price from Games Workshop. You won't get as much from Workshop. So that's the great thing about these indies. Whether it's Archon or Sea Dog or some of these others, Blackout. That's a great thing about conventions, is you can find great deals at conventions. Companies will get great deals to move product, to get people excited, because the convention goers are actually your core audience. They will take something home and they will start getting people to play it, and their community will grow. Because these are the true believers, the hardcore gamers, the people that are really into the hobby. And so one thing that helps hobby now is so many things are being produced in hard plastic, polystyrene plastic, that's easy to work with. It cuts nice, it's durable, it glues together with polystyrene cement, and it takes paint wonderfully, has a lot of detail. Just the advent of hard plastic, and it's evidently gotten a little bit cheaper for hard plastic to be produced. So we're seeing a lot more hard plastic, and even the PVC plastic is being produced in greater quantities. More technology allows more approaches to producing figures. So with those things in mind, you can have your choice of whatever you want. You can still get classic metal figures, you can get hard plastic figures, you can get cheap figures made out of floppy PVC, whatever works for you. This is a pretty neat little game. Again, I think gaming is going two directions. You've got your skirmish games, which are small scale games, small scale engagements, and then you have the small scale games, which are small scale in figures but large scale in scope. So the smaller the scale, the larger the battle. The larger the scale, the smaller the battle. So you have a lot more options to scratch whatever itch. If you like big battles with 28mm figures are crazy, but big battles with, say, a 15mm figure is a lot more manageable. Generally speaking, that's the conventional wisdom anyhow. So, I thought this was neat. There are several miniatures games out, science fiction miniatures games, that are very, they use 10mm as their measurement scale. So Tech Commander uses 10mm scale. Steel Rift uses 10mm scale. I believe Polyversal is also 10mm scale. So let's see. Oh, Um, the one game, Heavy Gear is also 10mm scale. So there are more 10mm scale mecha games out than there are 6mm mecha games. So that's an interesting consideration, interesting thought, interesting observation. So here's a little rank and flank action, obviously. Again, here I am telling you what we're seeing, which I could probably just play the music and play the subtitles and let everybody watch as they go, but you know, I think it's nicer to be a little have some narration. I mean, maybe I grew up on like Warren Miller ski films and you know, Endless Summer. All those films from all those sports films from the 60s to 80s, and he would always talk and narrate what was going on and who was doing what they were doing. And you see something exciting here is about to happen. We've got a lot of finger pointing. Oh, here he goes. Zoop. And he shuts the door. Boom. Contact. There you go. So what's your favorite kind of gaming? Tell me down below. Yeah, here's an old favorite. Old favorite that somebody dressed up and went to a lot of effort to make a nice board. So, Space Hulk. Space Hulk really should be an evergreen product. Workshop, if you're listening, which I know you aren't, because you never listen. Workshop, you never listen to anybody. Space Hulk should be evergreen. You should always be able to get it. And here's some more independent games going on here, little indie games. Somebody doing some last minute hobbying or taking a break out of the day to do some hobbying. But independent games are really the new hotness. They are fairly inexpensive to produce. Inexpensive to invest in. They usually call for lower model counts. And this game here, I like to call it King of the Hill, but with miniatures. So it seemed, I think they just got done with a Kickstarter here not too long ago. A couple of months ago, I think they finished up a Kickstarter. And it looks like a fun game. Again, it's an indie game. It's small. Doesn't require a lot of figures. You can use whatever figures you have on hand, as I've been told. And it will help you, or you'll have an excuse to build a castle, you know, or make something else really tall and grandiose like that. So it'll help you with your hobby skills. If you're not a terrain builder, you'll become a terrain builder because you don't need more than a handful of figures. So once those are done, start making some terrain. I believe this is Mordheim. It looks like Mordheim, but I didn't ask. They were very engaged in what they were doing, so find out. Now here is a familiar sight, the Golden Demon, the premier painting competition here at Adepticon. And we can see everybody wants a close-in look, so I wasn't going to get in too close where I didn't want to get in anybody's way, so we're going to go down here and find our own spot and look at some things. So let's go down here and see what there is to see. And of course, behind glass, sometimes you don't get the best look at things. Lots of familiar faces there. I believe these were the dual categories. So there's 2 figures on each base, and they seem to be locked in mortal combat. Someone should tell him his axe is on fire. That's not a pincushion, that's an orc. Something that I like about this piece coming up here is the OSL. That is amazing. That takes me back to seeing, like, say, Victoria Lamb's work in White Dwarf round about 2003 to 2005. She was really well known for her OSL work, and really bringing those more art techniques, methods into miniatures. Of course, we're starting to see art techniques. We're starting to see more scale modeling methods brought in, materials considerations, weathering, a lot more craftsmanship. And when I say craftsmanship, it goes beyond just painting miniatures or just being an artist, but craftsmanship, taking time to do it right. Hundreds of hours on some of these pieces, 80, 100 hours just for a single figure, and more for the larger pieces. Diorama effects, diorama work that you would never put on a game table because it would get damaged. Dice, and, Cheeto fingers. You just wouldn't put it on there, but you could put it in a display piece. So you can use more delicate and more, I hate to use the word realistic, results from those more delicate materials when you're doing a diorama. So here's some more neat little vignettes here. I think the Commissar decided that one needed to meet the Emperor. So I'll let you look at the rest of these in quiet. And here's a lot of Gotrek and Felix. Is that all of the Gotrek and Felix? I think that's all of the Gotrek and Felix. So they had the larger scale ones there, and the newer ones and older ones. Yeah, Gotrek and Felix are always some really fun models to build and paint. So remember what I was saying about weathering and OSL and art methods and scale modeling methods? Well, they're all here, weathering and everything. They're all on display. I think that guy's got a sick stomach. Might take some Pepto-Bismol. I don't know. Backdrops. Backdrops seem to be the thing now. They really help sell the figure, sell what's going on. That's something that I noticed here in the last couple of years, is a lot more people are including backdrops to their even single figures to give them a place to tell the story. And that's the thing about painting miniatures. You can paint a squad to get it on the table, or when you're doing something like this, you're telling a story about it. You can tell a story about a bog standard painting gaming figure as well, but the idea of putting it in its place when you're telling a story on this level of artisanship is really important. It pushes the model, in my opinion, it pushes the model just a little bit further. Warlord Games has done a lot to bring historical miniatures to the forefront. In the dark days between the mid-90s and, well, I don't know, mid-2000s, it seemed like historical miniatures were difficult to come by. They were very niche. Although we didn't see them as much, they actually outsold. They were actually the largest part of miniatures gaming, if you can believe it. But now with Warlord Games, they brought modern manufacturing techniques in. They've got hard plastic. They've got good distribution. They're accessible. They had the right people come together at the right time to make it happen. Now, this was last year's show. This is a 2025 show. A couple of days after I filmed this, Paul Sawyer, who had been dealing with a lot of health issues, finally passed away, and it was a sad day, not unexpected. He'd been in bad health for a long time. But Paul Sawyer, if you've been around the hobby a long time, he loved his bacon biscuits. He also was part of one of the greatest battle reports in White Dwarf history, which was the Rourke's Drift Battle at the Farm. Not the Battle at the Farm from Rogue Trader, but the Rourke's Drift, which was basically the last battle report of 2nd edition. And if you read that battle report, you see a lot of 3rd edition rules that they were playtesting inside that battle report. Now, this table I thought was really cool because not only do you have all the little blinky lights, look here, you see the smoke coming out of there? Now, that's not something I would necessarily want to have on a table for playing, but a demo table or a static display like what they've got here for Conflict 47, I think it was really neat. There might have even been some sounds included on this board, but it was a real audio-visual masterpiece. So it's not something you see often, but I found it very engaging. So Warzone is a game that has come back to the forefront. When I was a kid, I was in my 20s when I first saw Mutant Chronicles, the board game, and it was part of this universe that Warzone exists in. Bauhaus, Empire, Capital, and all these little factions in the game. I don't know what the actual game was about, but they're all trying to beat up on each other. And so it was a good game, but I didn't really get too far into it other than the Siege of the Citadel. But I want to get into this one now. Now this, if you want to do some really great weathering on your models, this product or these products, the Dirty Down, are the ones to use. Rust, grime, blood, gore, snot, verdigris, like 2 or 3 different colors of rust all together. Just amazing what you can do with it. Here are the examples of it. So just take a look at what you can do, what people more skilled than me have accomplished with the dirty down products available from Goblin's Hut. So this was Saturday night. This was our big sail power game where we used the 15mm ships. Brian had originally sculpted the sail power ships in 15mm scale, and during the pandemic decided to scale down to 6mm for home play. 15mm scale ships are a little bit big for playing at home. They're expensive to produce, expensive to buy, and the smaller scale is far more friendly to people's pocketbook and their table at home. So people are always asking, are there board games at Adepticon? And yes, there are. Here is the board game room. Enjoy. It's a quiet room. It's a much quieter spot, so if you need to get away, it's a good place to get away and play a easy game. This is a game called Trick Shot. Looks pretty neat. I watched for a little while, but I had to move on. But any board game with miniatures is gonna definitely get my attention. And that's something that has really been an industry driver of late, is board games having miniatures. Without miniatures, you might as well forget starting to sell your board games. But board gamers don't paint their miniatures. So reach out to a friend, help them out. Say, hey, I see you got that cool board game and it's got miniatures. Maybe we should get together some evening and start painting our miniatures. Now this is Fort Wapple. Fort Wapple is a chill hangout zone where they supply all the paints you need. You bring your brushes, you bring your figure, come down here, sit down, and start painting. No questions asked. Cool thing about this is there's a lot of really talented people that hang out here. One being Mr. James Wapple, who is the namesake of Fort Wapple here. But you can sit down and paint, and you're going to be painting probably around other people that enjoy painting, that you might be able to get some tips, tricks, and little pieces of hobby advice from. And you might make a new friend. You might wind up following their Twitch or their Instagram or their Facebook page as it is. But you might see some faces here that are familiar to you if you follow the hobby line on YouTube or Instagram. Of course, there's James Wapelius himself. Definitely give him a follow on Instagram and Twitch, and I think he's on YouTube too as well. There's some Trench Crusade that he painted up, Some World War II ships, obviously. And of course, some of his fantasy work. James is an accomplished painter, not just of miniatures, but also an accomplished artist in sculpting and in painting. And we'll see a little bit of his stuff here in just a minute. Of course, this case here is filled with all the miniatures of his late wife Kathy that people have painted for him. Again, she had her bouts with her health, and she left us too soon. Again, another hole in the Adepticon family that will never be filled. But you can see the exquisite care that has been taken by so many people to paint a figure in tribute to her memory, and grace Jim with it in his case there. So, anyway, here's some more of his work. I don't know, but if I had to guess, I would think that James likes Lord of the Rings. I'm just going out, just a wild guess. Now, of course, this is Sunday. Sunday things are winding down, but there's still games to be played, and everybody's trying to get that last game in before they head off home. And with HMGS, you'll see it tends to skew towards a slightly older crowd, so they're trying to get in as many games as they can before they can't get any more games in at all. So we'll see. They're playing some. Looks like they're playing some stuff over there from the Blood and Plunder series of games. Things from Firelock. Firelock has a lot more than just Blood and Plunder. You'd be surprised. Just like Sea Dog has more than just a sea-going game, Firelock also has several games that cover different genres. There's the club that was putting on a game there, or series of games over the weekend. And it looks like George Lucas, doesn't it? I don't think it's George Lucas. But everybody has the rules, has the quick play rules, the reference sheets to make sure they're doing things right. Because gaming is really a contract between you and your opponent to play with your toys. In a consistent manner. So if I do this and this, you'll do this and that in much the same fashion. Whereas it's very different from when you're playing like as a kid. You know, you got the little green army men in the sandbox, and oh well, my guy's got invincibility shield. Yeah, well, my guy's got an anti-invincibility shield gun. Oh yeah, well, I've got an anti-invincibility shield, anti-gun invincibility shield, and it goes on and on like that. But this is structured play. It's really the same thing, only with the parameter of an agreement. So that's the neat thing, is we're still having fun, the same kind of fun that we had as kids, but with just a little bit more of that agreement, that structure, that contract between both players, where you know what to expect. You both have expectations of the game and each other, and so there you go. You're just go and play, and may the best man win. May your dice roll to the best. Nerds. So, my thumb is as big as a house, or that house is as big as my thumb. You can see how, with small scale soldiers, large battles are more easily represented. If you tried to do things at scale, even at this scale, if you tried to represent the actual scale correctly, it would still be too big. So there is scale compression, but I thought this was really neat. Well, that was last year's show. Did you see yourself in the footage? Did you see other people that you knew? What was your favorite experience about last year's show that you had? What are you looking forward to this year? Are you going to try new games? Are you playing in tournaments? What classes are you taking? The cat is having a field day over here. But tell me down in below what you're looking forward to this year's show here in 2026. Well, that's it. That's the retrospective. That's the footage. Maybe you'll see me there. Maybe I'll see you there. Stop in, say hello. Check out the games that I'll be running, Tech Commander and Sail Power. Yeah, see you at the show.